Hey, my name is Doug, and in my real life, I own a distribution company, which you can probably see a bit of the van in the background here. So I was out doing the real job, but I trade when I can from work, and that's what I really like to do. And if one of these days, hopefully, I can transition out of the distribution and forever just into day trading full time. That would be kind of the dream. And so as the hobby, I've got a lot of trading stuff going on. I'm in a number of forums and things like that. So I started trading back in 2013, sort of by accident. I was looking at traveling around the world, and then you end up seeing these kind of YouTube guru traders about how they can travel anywhere and do anything because of their day trading. I didn't really even know what day trading was, even though I've got a background in finance. I've never was never interested in day trading, but then I saw all these charts, thought it looked cool, and since my life is mostly around commodity sales, I was like, this is a great way to get back into the finance industry. So I started trading just standard price action charts, things like that, and it was mostly gambling. I was really bad at it for a really long time and didn't really learn anything about the markets for probably like 5 years. It was kind of just jump in and out every now and again if I could look at a chart and just the standard candlestick patterns and things like that. But about 2 years ago, I got really serious about it. Started trying to learn why the market moves the way it does. Started getting into order flow and like real buying, real selling. I've got some programs that show me like where hidden orders happen. So like icebergs and stop runs, I can actually see those executed in real time now, where before that was all hidden. So that's made a dramatic improvement in my trading. And that is the key to how I ended up passing the gauntlet and then and getting funded. Okay, so I started out on just the bar charts, but about 2 years ago, when I did get serious about all this, I went into I got into order flow and started using Bookmap. And so for a while, I was using Bookmap and charts side by side, and recently I've started transitioning completely into just Bookmap, which is order flow laid out. Most people, when they see it, they think it looks like an acid trip or something like that. They have no idea what they're looking at, and that's just fine by me. But it's a lot of fun getting to see big boys pushing stuff around. And so I made a big improvement in my trading. I've been funded 4 or 5 different times in the past, and every now and again it was just pure luck. I think I caught a good run or something like that, but once I got into order flow, then I started getting real consistent. I could get funded pretty much at will, and then my psychology would take over once I got funded, and I'd end up blowing up my account. But so I blew up like four straight accounts, pretty quick succession. But then I kind of honed down my strategy. I started focusing on the ES and RTY, and I just got really drilled down the setups that I wanted and tried to stick with just those setups. So I kind of started trading less but making more money. And that was really the key to this last time around. When I got funded, I actually ended up getting to a payout. And so that was kind of the big success story for me, was getting that first payout. I was looking for a way to protect my account, so not blow my own money. And the gauntlet was an excellent way to sort of tread the water between risking my own money but not having to risk the full amount. I get to risk whatever the monthly fee is and work with, in theory, a $2,500 stop loss or whatever that is, and if I blow up my funded account, I only lose the monthly fee. And if I blew it up in real life, I'm going to be losing that $2,500 or whatever. Depends on the gauntlet that you choose. But I really got into Earn to Trade because I had been funded with actually 2 different companies in the past, but Earn to Trade just has the best value, the most straightforward rules. The customer service is great. They're always offering different incentives and discounts and things like that. And so once I found Earn to Trade, that was it. I got locked in and was focused only on that. So my Gauntlets experiences progressed over time. I started out getting funded on oil a couple different times. So I was just trading oil, focusing on that, and I was trying to match up the oil futures with oil ETFs because the ETFs are they're bigger, I guess you would say. They're a bigger market. So I was looking for hot points in the ETFs and then trading the futures accordingly to that. And that was going okay, but I wasn't structured enough around it, which is why I would end up blowing up the account once I got funded or something like that. So that just wasn't structured enough for me. And then so I started moving over to ES and RTY and building my structure around that. It relies a lot around VWAP and heavy levels of option hedging, which is a whole different story, but it's been a pretty big boost in my trading, is trading around levels of heavy option hedging. So if somebody's in the SPY or SPX and there's a huge level of option interest at a certain price, that's kind of where I want to jump into futures and trade around that, banking on some sort of institutional play where they have to hedge into futures to protect themselves against options. Okay, so one of the things I liked about the evaluation is you get to work on your psychology within a certain set of rules that the evaluation sets for you. Some people complain about the rules that you have to follow, but they make you a better trader. And they made me a better trader, having to get disciplined. It forced me to get disciplined and to look at my stats and all that kind of stuff, and to have a trading plan, which I was just trading by the seat of my pants before that. So like I said, I've been funded a number of times. So like at first, when I would get close to passing evaluation, that's where the psychology would come in. And I might get really close to passing the evaluation, then maybe blow the evaluation because I start getting antsy, changing the way I trade or whatever it is. Psychology is just half the game or more. Maybe it's 90% of the game in trading. I don't know. But once I got used to passing evaluations, they weren't that big of a deal anymore. It's like over time I had to work out those feelings. And then it was the feelings of once I'm funded, I would get too excited. And so it's like it shifted. The bad psychology shifted from trying to pass the evaluation to trying to get funded. And then I had to work it out through that by blowing a number of funded accounts. And then once I got used to kind of doing that, that kind of smoothed out that psychology where it's a lot easier to trade live, actual money on the line now. And so it took a lot of time just to get through all those emotions and things like that. Any advice that I could give to anybody else that's trying to pass these challenges is don't just take it by the seat of your pants. Sit down, know what your plan is. Like I want to trade around this indicator. I want to trade around this moving average. I want to trade around this, and be very disciplined about sticking to that. And then one thing that seems to happen is once you start getting excited about passing a gauntlet, or once you get funded and sort of the elements have changed of the risk that's on the line, for whatever reason, we change our trading plan. We might not even know that we're doing, and we start taking trades that we normally wouldn't take. We're not sitting on our hands waiting for the perfect setup to come along. We're just sort of firing, hoping to just get a lucky win or whatever it is. So just you got to really pay attention to what you're doing, because you don't always know what you're up to. So once you can drill into what's going on in your own mind, you'll get a lot better.